Hey guys, so so batch one of the old commercials, logos, items, what may have you, is done. It has been done since Sunday. Uh, it was an interesting experiment to say the least, and I'm sure some of you were wondering if there were going to be more. Of course, there will be more, but some other people are probably wondering how this was done. So this was the VCR that I use to record all this stuff. So this is I'd say mid 2000s Toshiba VCR DVD combo. I must have had this since the early 2000s. So it still works. So I'm glad it still works, and it worked wonderfully. I have another VCR upstairs. It's hooked up and everything. So I'd have to unhook it all and just bring it down here. But this was already unhooked and everything, so I just brought this down instead, and it works. It still works, which I'm happy. Doesn't seem like there's anything dirty inside, so everything's fine. So, in order to record this stuff, I used a capture device. This basement is a mess. There's cables everywhere, and there's spiders and other creepy crawlies in here. So this is the capture device I use. This is an Elgato Game Capture HD. This is not like the first pick for a capture device. This is one that happened to be cheap on eBay. It was like $80, which is a fucking bargain for a capture device, by the way. Finding capture devices now is really hard. They're jacked up. It's hard. It's not only hard to find, but it's super pricey, which is a pain in the ass. You gotta love all the scalping people are doing with that shit. It's pissing me off, honestly. So this capture device has two inputs. So this is a what I believe is called a mini dim a din. Sorry, din, not dim. And it uses a cable like this. So this arrived yesterday, actually, but unfortunately, this does not actually work. I don't know if the cable is bad or the slot in there is bad. So I could return it back to the United States where I ordered it from, but I'm lazy. Like, is it worth sending $20 of cables over back to the United States? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think it's worth it. So just use the HDMI. Anyways, capture devices are going to be different depending what you order. So this is my personal experience. So I use the HDMI input here, and as you can see, there's USB. So this is plugged to the tower of my computer, well, the PC tower, and this is the output. So this cable is actually pretty freaking long. It goes through this couch here to my tower to hook it to the capture card, not the capture card, the graphic card I have. So I have a AMD graphic card on my tower. I could have ordered a tower with NVIDIA like 4 years ago, but I didn't because I was just cheapskate. But whatever. It still works with AMD, even though it's not NVIDIA. It still works, so who cares? So this capture device, it works. It works. I mean, you saw the footage I put up on YouTube, so obviously it works. So obviously this works with HDMI, but it can also work with other older stuff, which is what the cable was for. But honestly, I only ordered it as a backup in case anything went goofy. So this HDMI cable is hooked up to an upscaler, or you could call this, like, I guess you could call it a converter or whatever, but it's an upscaler. So it's connected to this. So my VCR is connected here, and this is powered by a 5-volt phone charger. It doesn't come with one, so you have to use your own phone charger, and you have to connect it to this and plug it. And there's two options here. You have 720p and you have 780p. Unfortunately, my capture device is pretty old and can only render 60 frames per second on 720p, so I put it on 720p. The other downside to the capture device is that it has built-in lag, which is not a problem when you have, like, if you're just recording stuff off of VCR or a DVD player or Blu-ray, but it's a problem if you want a game. So I use a splitter. This is good for two things. One, it makes it so you can play lag free. So you plug your HDMI here, and you plug this to the TV, or this one, doesn't matter, and you plug the other one to the capture device. So you can play the game while you're using your capture device at the same time using this. So it's very convenient. The other thing about this splitter in particular that I like is that it bypasses protection. The PS3, for example, has protection against capture devices, so that splitter bypasses it, which is fantastic. You could use it with your TV box, but I'm sure TV service providers would be pissed off if I mentioned that. So I'm not going to capture stuff off my TV, like off my cable. So I'm not going to do that. Um, the last thing I want to do is piss off TV service providers. So I'm avoiding that. And if that cable was working, I would have been using this. So this is similar to the splitter, except this is for RCA. Obviously, you plug it here. Then this would have been plugged to the TV, and this would have been plugged to the cable that would have been plugged to my capture device. But these cables don't even work. This was something I ordered before I got the upscaler, so this is basically a waste of money. This is like $70. So the only thing it could do with this box really is plug this to two TVs and plug this to an old console, so I could flex on people. I guess I could play, like, I don't know, Donkey Kong Country on the two TVs because I'm cool like that. Speaking of Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 3, which is down here. This is one of the few games on the SNES that uses protection against capture devices and what may have you for some reason. Even though this was a game made in the late 90s, they still had this copyright protection on. When I tried plugging it into the upscaler, it actually triggered this, and I couldn't play Donkey Kong Country 3. However, if you plug the SNES to the VCR, because this VCR has an input and an output. So I plug this in the input, and then use the output to the upscaler. So obviously I changed the channel to the line in, so it's on the SNES, and it works. It actually bypasses the protection. It's kind of amazing how an old VCR can bypass that sort of protection. It's kind of funny in a way. So if I want to stream like PS2 or SNES, GameCube, or N64, I could plug it either to the VCR, but if there's no problems, I could just plug it directly to the upscaler and it would work just fine. Obviously, if I'm just recording stuff off the VCR, I don't need the splitter. I could just plug it directly to the capture device. So that's nice. There's component, like there's composite. So this is composite. This is known as composite cables. But there's component, which is like 5 cables. The PS2 has component cables, and the GameCube, I believe, had them too. But the problem is that it's hard to find GameCube related component cables. They're really rare, and you can only use them with like the first model of the GameCube, anyways. But the other pain in the ass is that there's not much of a difference. I never really noticed much of a difference. It's like less blurry, but that's about it. That's the only difference with the PlayStation 2. So I don't know if it's even worth getting like component cables for the PlayStation 2 and then get an upscaler that instead of this, it would be, the 5 cables, and it would be HDMI. So I don't know if it's even worth the hassle spending more money just for somewhat less blurry footage. I don't think so. But other than that, though, there's not much else to say. It's just a matter of like research and money and all that stuff. It took months to get everything sorted so I could do something like this. So for capturing footage on the VCR, I have to use the program that comes with the capture device itself does not provide the software. You have to find it online. So I have to download the software and shit, and then use it. And then after that, press the record on my program, and of course I press play on that, and then I have to get off the computer because even though it's actually not a CPU extensive thing, but I still want to make sure the render goes perfectly, like the recording goes fine with no problems. So I just leave the tower alone and just waste a couple of hours just waiting. And then once everything is done, I hit stop on the recording and then it provides a TS file. Now, the problem with TS files is that TS files don't actually work with my video editor, so I have to use another option on my program to convert to MP4. And that could take a little while too. Then after that, if I want to grab like commercials and all that stuff, I have to split all that stuff up in the video editor, which is time consuming. I have to render each one at a time, give it the proper title and all that stuff. Not to mention I have to adjust my Sony Vegas, which is my video editor, so that it's on 60 frames per second, and I have to disable some other options to make sure that the render is absolutely perfect, which is a pain in the fucking ass. And then I have to look up, if there's any information about the commercials, like maybe they came out like 2 years prior to when it was recorded. Like, for example, I had a commercial from 1982 that was recorded in 1989. So, yeah, that tripped me up. So, it takes a lot of time just to find all the information on each commercial, make sure the years are correct, maybe there's some additional information and all that stuff. It's very time consuming. And I had to batch upload where you can do that, but it's like 15 videos at a time, so I have to upload them. It puts them in draft mode in YouTube, and then I have to, and I have to schedule each one. Like I have to go in and schedule each one at a time, so it only comes out at a specific time. Now, the next time we do commercial batches, I'm going to announce them ahead of time. So don't be surprised if there's going to be more of these in the future. So I'm going to announce them ahead of time, though, so you guys are aware. But I'm also going to make them less spammy. Like, I'm not going to upload like 5 at a time every 6 hours. That was kind of a mistake. I'm going to, ask people around to see what, the best amount would be. Like, how many videos and per how many hours, just to make it less spammy. That would make it much better for everybody, I say. Oh yeah, and one more thing. If I want to grab stuff from from DVDs and Blu-rays, it's kind of pointless because my tower can play DVDs. But I guess in the off chance, VLC is a dickwad, a pain in the ass to use, or I want to have less, stress on my computer, less stress on the CPU of my computer, I could do that. I can use my PS3 for that. My PS3 has HDMI support, so naturally I could use that, so it'd be like the best quality. And my tower can't play Blu-rays, so I can use my PS3 for that. But I don't actually have a Blu-ray movie, believe it or not. I don't actually have anything on Blu-ray other than PS3 games, which is surprising, but I barely buy anything on physical media now, so yeah. I'm just lazy. I've been barely been able to watch movies or TV shows anyways, and I barely buy anything, on physical media now. So yeah, there's not much else to say at this point except yeah, this is the pain in the ass that I had to go through just to record footage and everything, and hopefully I can grab and hopefully this expands my palette on what I can do for YouTube. Like I can stream older consoles now, which is cool. But it's going to be out of sync, which is the only downside. But other than that, it's fine. Um, and obviously I have way more tapes. No, it's not like there's 3 tapes here. There's obviously way more tapes in storage. That's the downside. They're in storage, so it's going to take a while. I have to go through each one just to see if there's anything worthwhile to grab and upload to YouTube. And it's been a project that's been in the works for since 2019. There's actually like a specific tape that I want to grab footage of, and hopefully the tape is still, it's still intact and everything, and I could grab stuff from that, and I'm gonna upload it to YouTube eventually, and it's actually something that had never been uploaded on YouTube before, as far as my knowledge goes. So it's gonna be crazy. Um, Other than that, though, this is how I recorded my stuff. Record all this vintage stuff for YouTube, and many more in the future. It took months. It took a lot. It's I spend a lot of money on this shit. This is not like the most budget friendly thing ever. Like I spend like hundreds of dollars trying to get everything sorted. So yeah, but it was an experiment. It was definitely an experience. And not everybody's going to do the same thing I did when it comes to recording old stuff and, stuff from HDMI devices, Everybody's going to have different methods, different capture devices and so forth. So this is just my method, and I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of a pain in the ass to get everything sorted, but it was well worth it in the end. I think it was well worth it, and I discovered a lot of cool old stuff. I love old vintage stuff, and it was cool to find commercials that were never actually uploaded on YouTube before. So that was cool. Um, that's all I have to say. I've been ragging on and on at this point, and I also realize I'm not that great of a public speaker because I keep stuttering and stuff. It's a pain in the ass. Anyways, I will see you next time. Bye bye.